This show is sponsored by Great Kingdom Palace, giving life a meaning.
Here I am joined by a very special person, Yogi, who is the author of the book, The Power of Relaxation. And here I am with him today, so please welcome Yogi. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell me your journey.
I grew up in North India and I went to university, studied computer science, accounting, but I always have everything have a limit. But I would like to access something which have no limit, which is the mind I found constantly expanding.
Yeah.
Then I found the spiritual journey is completely infinite. There is no end to it. The more deeper you go, the vast and bigger it gets. Similarly, the concept of God comes from your life journey. Life is endless. You can live it, you can make it whatever you like to make out of it. So,
wow, that's the powerful stuff. So, okay, so you obviously your book talks about the power of relaxation. Tell me more about this book, and what is it about?
Everybody is so hungry about power. Like if you have a state of mind, you can feel your empowerment. It's not about giving your power to somebody else to feel relaxed. The book is about you get your own empowerment to yourself, and then you can feel power inside. You can only do that because if you are relaxed totally inside with yourself, if you relax with yourself, you can feel power. If you are not relaxed, you will be borrowing the power from other people.
Wow, that's powerful. Okay, yeah, it's a really, really interesting stuff. So I saw you earlier on, which is amazing stuff, and you were doing like this show, and it looked like yoga to me. What is that? Is that what it is, yoga?
Yeah. It's yoga, yeah.
So how does that help with the mind?
Your mind depends on the breath. Everything, your life depends on the breath. The day-to-day activities, everything depends on the breath. If you rely your whole entire existence on the breath, we breathe day in, day out. You think about food every day. You eat food,
yeah.
You think about it, yeah? You think about water. You think about your job. You think about everything you interact in your life. Have you ever thought about breath?
Never.
Have you thought about, have you tasted the breath, what it tastes like?
No.
Your sound of the breath? Yoga is the business of breath. Yoga is a religion of breath. Yoga is the love affair with your breath. That's what I call it. Your life is the biggest love affair with the breath. So if you practice yoga every day, your lung capacity get enhanced, your brain, neuromuscular system of the body get the prana inside the body. You feel a lot more relaxed. Your predictability, whatever you do in your life, doesn't matter you have to be a yogi to practice yoga. You can do anything you like as long as you practice yoga. That will give you a lot more empowerment of your physical strength, mental strength, that you can make a decision in your life much more better.
And that's very true. And I can resonate with you because I meditate myself. Okay, but for the viewers out there, I know for a fact that this brings peace and it brings happiness and it also gives you a balanced life. But in your opinion, tell me why that happens.
Why it happens? Because it creates a coherence of the brain. A lot of people only can think, or maybe create, but can never align two together. If you can align your inner strength, your inner spirit, through your senses with outer object, There's always going to be good alignment. You got a lot of power inside, a lot of energy, a lot of creativity, but your senses are not aligned with what is available outside. But you collecting all the information from outside can be very beautiful information. You can be telling me something amazing that can change my whole life. I take it inside, my senses listen to it, I experience it, but not being delivered to me inside to can make a move on it. It's not going to happen. But yoga gives the taste or your life reflection through your senses and outside community, in the society. And when that alignment is yoga. That alignment is everything in life. You could have such a beautiful heart inside, with a lot of love inside you, a lot of compassion inside you. Your senses would like to do it, but your senses are aligned with society with a very different approach, but they are not coherent together. If they are not coherent together, you got outside life totally different, inside life you believe is totally different. You got two people fighting inside you. That is the mind. If that comes together, mind is yours.
You heard it here with Yogi. He's absolutely phenomenal. His energy is absolutely phenomenal, and he has got a good way of living. And he's also got the book, The Power of Relaxation, available in the stores and on Amazon.
It's stores, the most stores, the good quality bookstores available in the UK, available on Amazon, and also available on my website, myname.com. So it's
Okay, and your website is www.
yogiashokananda.com is my name on the front, and you can just find it from there.
God bless you, and thank you. Here we are again at the Mind, Body, Spirit event in the NEC Birmingham, and I am joined by a very special person, Kwali, who has actually had a spiritual awakening and talks about how we can do meditation and also teaches yoga and how we can live a balanced life. Welcome, how are you doing?
Hi Satnam, nice to meet you. So my name's Kwali Kumara Haribhajan Kaur, and I teach Kundalini Yoga and Gong meditation and serpent healing. And I teach in London, and I teach to a varied audience, so anybody that wishes to come is welcome in my class. You don't have to be an expert, you can just rock up and do the best you can and feel the energy. So we work with the physical kriya, so movement and meditation and mantra, and the three together combine to be the amazing technology that is Kundalini Yoga, which has actually changed my life completely.
Well, tell me more about that. I mean, because there's so many people out there that obviously want to get into spirituality, are missing that thing, but don't know how. I mean, what was your journey? How did you become spiritually awakened?
Well, I was soul searching and seeking, and it was mainly in festivals, in places where people were gathered together dancing and having a beautiful time and celebrating life. That was where I was finding my spiritual sustenance. But I was always looking for something else, something more, something new, and something that was going to take me to a higher state of consciousness without any drugs or alcohol or any of the aids that we all use, because that's all very temporary, and in the end of the day it's just not good for you. So, once I realized that and I gave all that up, then I found, fortunately it fell into my lap, I found Kundalini Yoga, and the way I found that was through being given a serpent. I got given my first snake, and I knew what the Kundalini energy was, so I called my serpent Kundalini, and that led me on my path to inquiring about the Kundalini life force energy, and obviously the relationship that I had with my serpent developed, and I started to meditate with her. And then when she passed away, I decided to dedicate my life to Kundalini in her honor. So I found my way to a class, and then my life changed again from that moment forth. So my serpent basically took me to Kundalini Yoga, and then I became a teacher of it. So that amazing gift that I was given has now manifested to be my life path.
Wow, fascinating stuff, and such an amazing ride that you've been through. So in terms of for all those viewers out there, obviously they're working, they're stressed, and what, obviously, everyone's got their own path and where they go, but what would your advice be that they could do to help them,
I would say find a Kundalini class near you. You can literally go online and say Google a Kundalini class near you, and they will come up all around the world. So wherever you are in the world, you can find one. Once you've gone to class, you've experienced the teachings, you've got a connection with a teacher, then you can be given some homework that you can go away and do. And our meditations, they last 11 minutes out of your life to transform yourself on a cellular level. Obviously, if you have more time, you can do an hour, depending depending on how much time you have. But I think pretty much everybody's life can allow 11 minutes for some self-development and some time out.
Well, you've heard it here. She's absolutely amazing, and her energy is absolutely amazing. Do look her up. What's your website?
www.kwalikundalini.com. And if anyone's scared of snakes, I also work with serpents. Serpent healing is my unique thing that I do that no one else does on the planet. So if you're scared of snakes, come and find me and I'll help you through that fear. We'll work on it and we'll get you over it.
You've heard her. Do log on to her website and get in touch with her. She's absolutely amazing. She will help you and guide you towards a great meditation.
God bless. Thank you.
My next guest is Veronique, and she is the author of the book Being of Humanity. And we are now with her today at the Mind, Body, Spirit event at the NEC, and we're going to talk to her about her story. So, welcome.
Thank you.
So, tell me your journey. How did it all begin?
Well, okay, it began 21 years ago now, I would say. I was 9 years old. I'm originally from the south of France, Marseille. And when I was 9, I had a magnificent vision of the Virgin Mary. She appeared to me, I was lifted up in the air, and I went from my bedroom to be basically on top of my town and in the air, and then she was talking to me in a beautiful way. She was glowing. I mean, the whole thing was really surreal.
So you kind of your soul was out of your body, like an astral,
almost like an out-of-body experience, but I was conscious of what was happening.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, and also the surrounding was really familiar. It was nothing, apart from obviously Mary, who was there, and she was talking to me for a while, but the only issue was I couldn't hear what she was saying. So I never knew exactly the words she said to me that day. And so from that moment, obviously, I became, like I like to call, a seeking spirit, spiritually speaking. And so I had different phases in my life. Like I went from studying the Bible to go suddenly and studying Buddhism, and I studied also the Lotus Sutra by itself. Different practice, and I went also through a phase also that I didn't want to know anything about God, and I tried to keep it away. And all these things basically brought me to write this book 3 years ago, more or less. I started to really feel a very, very strong feeling for writing, and it almost came up like I like to call it channeling. And I started to channel the book, basically. And whilst I was writing, I actually started to realize that's what Mary told me when I was 9. That strong feeling, my heart told me this is the message she gave me, and almost like a seed, I needed to grow through my own suffering, through my own experience, life experience, through my own struggles, and this watered that seed, and then finally started to come out, and to blossom, and it became the being of humanity, because although I talk about what I just said to you at the beginning of the book, then suddenly the book will go from that to a more metaphysical, spiritual, I would say a story, if I can say like that. And the message basically from Mary, what I feel is like we are now almost 8 billion on Earth, which is quite a lot. And we are part of a greater body now. We are not just human beings, but we are part of humanity. And it's good to know it, but I think now the shift is coming now, that we have to become that humanity. We have to be really conscious of it. And I like to take the analogy of the body. Like the physical body has got its own cells, and that's what make our body, basically. A lung cell has a proper function for the lungs. A liver cell's got a proper function, is a liver cell. It creates this organ. And I think now the shift is coming in the way that people want to really do what they love, what they are called to do. And we all have gifts, like you have the gift to interview people and, share the message like this everywhere. And you can be a scientist, you can be just someone who just a great mother, whatever it is, this is your gift. And if it's what you love doing, you have that function in that body of humanity, if I can say, to do that.
And that's so true. I mean, I totally agree with you, Veronique, that everyone here on earth has a sole purpose. Everybody here is not just here just to pay the bills, or they're not just here to make do, or they're not just here to kind of, make ends meet. Everybody here on this physical plane has a sole purpose, and it's down to yourselves to try and find that. And I find my sole purpose, and like you said, now obviously I'm dedicating my life in terms of working towards helping people. But how, if someone's in a job and they're doing their thing, how do they go about finding their sole purpose?
Well, again, depending, for example, I met my husband a year ago actually, and then the book was already in the process. We communicated before that. And then we met. The book quotes a lot of Christ teaching in the book. There is a lot of quotes from him. And I really felt it was a natural transition that Mary almost took me from her realm to giving me back to her son, in a way, to Jesus Christ. That's my to me, that's Christ consciousness. And my husband introduced me even more. We started to study together and pray together, and and then that's what I rely on, So when someone is stuck in a place where he doesn't want to be, and he feels like there is a calling for something else, but he doesn't. Maybe so many people are in this situation. They're scared to make the leap. Basically, that's going to take them there. You have to find out what exactly is in your heart. What makes you happy. And mainly you have to create that divine connection as well for yourself, because without this divine connection, it's very hard. You cannot do it by yourself, You need to have that support, that spiritual support, because in the end, this is a spiritual shift, So I think people have to really start to become more spiritual, to really question.
To get to where they want to be, basically, yeah. Now, you said, obviously, earlier on that actually the messages that you've written in this book actually came from the higher source. And were you basically getting those messages through like meditation, or what were you doing in order to basically download that information?
Yeah, so like many people, I worked a job as well, a normal job, I work in the healthcare. When I was it's just an urge I had inside me. And that's why I felt it was almost like a channeling, because I really felt this feeling for writing, this wave was taking over my whole being. And even though I was tired, I still thought, I can't let these thoughts just running away and not writing them down. So I started to always have to make sure that I've got my computer. I write with the computer, but whatever you use, I always made sure that my computer was open and ready to go. So even if it took me like just 10 minutes to write, just a sentence, a word, whatever it is, I do it. Yeah. And then when you're off, then you organize your time around it, because we spend so much time. For example, how many hours do we spend in front of the TV? That's right. This time you spend in front of TV, you can just cut it down. Let's say in half if you can't do it straight away, And then I thought, no, I've got to discipline myself. It became almost like my own job to do, which it was in a way. And then what I started doing is just organizing my time. So I said, well, I'm going to write when I'm off in the morning, because that's when I perform the best in this way. And I said, well, I'm going to take 2 hours in the morning to do that. And then whatever comes out first doesn't matter. The most important is you made a step to do it. You became proactive in what you have in your mind.
And what's your future plans now? After you've written this first book, what's your future plans?
All right, well, I already started a new one. It comes gradually with me. Again, it's not a matter of time. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take you. Most important is you are doing it. And I feel like, obviously, because I'm pregnant at the moment, I've got the priorities coming. And it will come when it's the right time. So, but when I've got my same discipline, when I've got 10 minutes free, or even if I'm here and I've got an idea, I'll write it down, put it into draft, and then eventually, after a while, I will create that second.
Wow, absolutely amazing. And what's your final message to our viewers at home before they leave?
Well, my final message is really to never give up on your dreams. Don't listen to what other people say as well. Don't give energy to people who say you can't do it, or for whatever reason they always validate something that's not going to help you with your dream. Just go with the people who really believe in you, and even if it's just one person, just do that, and trust mainly God that is going to help you, and ask for help. Again, it's about loving yourself and then creating that relationship with God, and God will take care of the rest.
Totally agree. You've heard it here at the Mind, Body, Spirit event. Veronique has written a book, A Being of Humanity, available on Amazon. Get it and let's see what it's all about. We'll see you soon.
To find out more about Amit Kaint, please take a look at his new book called The Gift, 7 Laws of Success, out now in all major bookstores. This show is sponsored by Great Kingdom Palace, giving life a meaning.